Hello, I'm Harry. The movie I share with you today is Call Me by Your Name. The story happened in the 1980s. Italy was a paradise with summer sunshine, youth, blue sky, clean water, spirit of music, philosophy. All romantic elements were here. Also there, a love story carried on quietly. You may have heard that this is a movie about gay relationship, but please give me a few minutes to tell you. This is just a beautiful love story. Regardless of gender, regardless of all, as long as you liked someone when you were young, you can see that you've been there. That day, 17-year-old Elio was at home when an international student, Oliver, came to his house. In summer, Elio's father would invite a student to come here for vacation and discuss academic issues, but the one who came this year seemed to be a little different. He was tanned, handsome, generous and cheerful. He could get on well with everyone, could go out and get a bank card, could call others brothers. He was the outgoing and handsome Oliver, who talked in a soothing tone. He could easily solve the questions Elio's father brought out. He could also dance with beautiful girls, conquering everyone by his charm. Elio's father joked that Oliver looked like a superstar. The schedules of a teenager were reading books, composing music during the day and going out at night. After Oliver arrived, he took Elio out to ride a bike, swim and play ball. Life was so colorful. The 24-year-old international student was like a sun shining into this already beautiful summer. The sight made Elio a little dazzled. Unconsciously, he paid more attention to Oliver. They started to care about each other. In fact, they had gradually fallen in love with each other. Hearing the compliments of the girls in the playground, Elio felt bitter and uncomfortable for having such feelings toward Oliver. When Elio picked up the water bottle for a girl, Oliver ran over and grabbed the bottle of water. Elio pretended to be reluctant. To show goodwill, Oliver gave him a massage on the shoulders with his hand. Elio suddenly felt a little sensitive. His mood fluctuated. He could only act like he was uncomfortable, dodging Oliver. That night, Elio was relentless. He tossed and turned as if something would break through the ground. On a lazy afternoon, Elio sat in the shade of a tree playing the guitar. Oliver, who lied on the lawn, praised him. Elio pretended to be calm and called Oliver to the piano. He was like a child who wanted to show off. He showed Oliver his talent and charm. He adapted 3 versions of Bach. The first one was a passionate romance. The second had some kind of solemnity. The third one was deep melancholy. He wanted to use music as a way to express his feelings to Oliver. In front of Oliver, he even deliberately told his father that he almost had sex with a girl. However, Oliver's reaction was not as he expected. He pretended to set Oliver up with that girl. Oliver said angrily, "Don't play with someone's feelings." The two were at an impasse. Does Elio act just like any one of us? When you fall in love with someone, you get jealous easily, depressed for them, worried about gain and loss. Elio wanted to tell him. He couldn't be bothered to hide it. He even showed his affection to someone else to make Oliver jealous, or pretended to set him up with others. Such childish things filled the love of 2 young men. Elio just kept trying and guessing until his mother told him a story about a knight who fell in love with the princess. He didn't know whether to confess or keep it to himself. He finally chose to restrain his feelings. In front of the square, they started talking about World War I. Oliver praised Elio for his erudition and vast knowledge. Elio suddenly shook his head. "I don't know anything, Oliver. I wish you knew how ignorant I was of what was really important to me." Elio repeated, "Because I want you to know." He didn't know how to confess his love for Oliver. He just hoped Oliver noticed it. Then he took Oliver to his secret base. Unexpectedly, he got a response from Oliver. They played in the spring, kissing on the grass. The best thing in the world is that the person you like may like you, too. In fact, Oliver was the first to be attracted to Elio. The shoulder massage in the previous scene was his temptation. But Oliver, in his 20s, was more patient and restrained. He was afraid of hurting both of them. He was afraid this uncontrollable attraction would drown them both. Surging feelings filled the air, making the two of them intoxicated and worried about gain and loss. Elio couldn't believe that this beautiful man belonged to him. Oliver left a note on the table, "See you at midnight." So from noon, they were absent-minded. Elio kept looking at his watch, anxiously waiting for the longest day to pass quickly. Lust was like water. When their souls and bodies became one, Oliver said to Elio, "Please call me by your name, and I will call you by mine." They shouted their names to each other. From body and mind to soul, it was like every corner of the world was filled with each other. You had me and I had you. But summer was coming to an end. Oliver was leaving, too. With the support of Elio's parents, he and Oliver embarked on the final journey, running on the mountain, singing at night. When they departed, Oliver took Elio's face and kissed him. That day, Elio was wearing Oliver's shirt. They silently held each other. "That kiss and your shirt are all I got from you." Oliver left after all. Elio slumped down at the station and didn't know what to do. There was no one to comfort him. The moment he dialed his mother, tears welled up. His mother picked him up. As the train went, Elio's summer was over. In winter, where everything was covered with ice and snow, he got a call. Oliver was getting married. After taking a deep breath, Elio shouted his name on the phone. Elio. That was their thing. That was their agreement. Elio sat in front of the fire. He cried for a long time. Then he smiled with happy tears. After a while, indifference returned to his eyes as if in just a few minutes. He spent that summer again and many more times in his life. I've never done anything like this in my life. Just when I call him by my name, no matter in the past or now, I have no regrets. This is a thing I've never shared with anyone. There are no secrets in this world. Falling in love with you is my biggest secret. And I just want to share with you. That's all for today. I'm Harry. I'll see you next time.